The floodgates are now open as the President of the United States, currently holding office, was asked, "Are you required to uphold the Constitution?" His answer was, "I don't know." We cannot see this as an offhanded gaffe. This is the sitting President of the United States saying he's not sure whether he has to follow the foundational document that gives him the power that he wields. This is all from a disastrous new interview with NBC News' Kristen Welker. Trump was asked, does due process apply to everybody? Does it apply to citizens and non-citizens? And pressed in that moment as to whether he has a duty to uphold the Constitution, Trump again says, "I don't know." Take a look at this.
Your Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, the Fifth Amendment says
I don't know. It might say that, but if you're talking about that, then we'd have to have 1 million or 2 million or 3 million trials. We have thousands of people that are some murderers and some drug dealers and some of the worst people on earth. Some of the worst, most dangerous people on earth. And I was elected to get them the hell out of here, and the courts are holding me from doing it.
But even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me, and they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said. What you said is not what I heard the Supreme Court said. They have a different interpretation.
Is anyone in your administration right now in contact with El Salvador about returning Abrego Garcia to the United States?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the Attorney General that question.
This is a constitutional emergency in plain sight, because Donald Trump isn't just brushing off legal nuance. This is a total and overt disregard for the rule of law. This is not a technicality, okay? It is the core of American democracy. You know, a technicality might be, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something sort of benign and obscure. Technicality might be, you know, the fish and game people look at the fish you caught and they go, oh, you've got 7 fish here that are too small. You're supposed to leave the fish in the water until they get to a certain size in order to make it a renewable and sustainable stock of fish. These are too small. You've got 7 fish that are too small. I could write you for 7 misdemeanors, 1 for each of the 7 fish. But I'm going to write you for 1 because this is really all part of the same crime, right? That's an example of sort of a technicality. There's discretion. When you swear an oath to the presidency, supposedly on a Bible, even though Trump kept his hand off of the Bible during the swearing in, the big thing is that you will uphold the Constitution, period. It's the Fifth Amendment. It's the 14th Amendment. It's what separates this country from dictatorship. And Trump is openly saying, I'm not so sure about that. Now, we've looked at the legal reality of this. Due process applies to persons, not just citizens. It's been the standard for decades. It's been upheld by both liberal and conservative courts. And the Constitution protects anyone under U.S. jurisdiction from being detained, deported, punished, or denied liberty without a legal process. But Trump's view is much simpler on this, and it's far more dangerous. If there are too many people, if it just becomes inconvenient, I mean, listen, some of these cases could take years, then you skip the Constitution. Not law and order. That's authoritarianism, plain and simple. Now let's pause for a moment. For decades, the right-wing claim, the core conservative identity, was that they are the defenders of the Constitution, while the left tramples on it like it's a piece of gum. Actually, you would avoid stepping on a piece of gum. It tramples on it like it's trash. That was the whole pitch. Everything else was secondary. Low taxes, strong borders, cultural issues, all just extensions of the big promise, which is we will uphold the Constitution and the left will not. But then Trump goes on national television as president and says he might not be obligated to do it. Where is the right wing on this? Imagine if Joe Biden or any Democratic president had said, I don't know, when asked if they must uphold the Constitution. It would be a Fox News live emergency for 72 hours straight. There would be calls for impeachment before the segment even ended. Every right-wing radio host would declare the republic dead, and the removal of the president is immediately necessary. But when Trump says it, we're supposed to move on. You don't need to be a legal scholar to understand how dangerous this is. It's in the job description of the president. You uphold the Constitution. It's not a suggestion. It's not a personal preference. It's not something you might believe in or you don't believe in. It is a binding legal document that empowers the presidency. And when the sitting president says he's not sure if he has to follow it, it is not a slip up. This is a red flag of all red flags. We've been talking about it for so long because what Trump wants to do is not lead within the bounds of the Constitution. He wants to dismantle the idea that those bounds apply to him at all. And meanwhile, you turn on Fox News and they're covering an imaginary litter box in a school that doesn't exist. The sitting president questioned whether the Constitution applies to him. And those who spent years calling themselves constitutional conservatives, silent. It tells you everything you need to know about the supposed values that they uphold. And for Trump, it's not that it's a complex question, it's that it's an inconvenient question. And that's why he says, I don't know. Let's take a very quick break. Make sure you're getting my newsletter on Substack at davidpakman.substack.com.
Your mom wants you to call her, and this Mother's Day, give her a call, but you can also consider giving her an Aura digital picture frame. Aura Frames was named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter. I've gifted these to so many folks, including my mom, no matter where I am. If we're traveling, if my daughter does something absolutely brilliant on the playground, which happens all the time, I can take a picture or a video and upload it directly into my mom's Aura frame or whoever's. I can also share access. I shared it with my brother so he can upload pictures directly as well. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. My audience can save for a limited time on the perfect gift by going to auraframes.com and getting $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. Go to auraframes.com. Use the code PAKMAN. The link is in the description.